Hi and welcome back. So let's continue on with labels, and in this video let's do an example. So we're just going to do a very simple example. Let me remove all of this. An example whereby we may not even need the label, but I just want to show you how the label is used within a loop. So we have this array, and the first thing I want to do, let me declare a variable, call it var_l, and this is equals to arr.length. So that will store the length of our array, and then down here let's call our loop this. So my array, and then let's do a for-of loop. So with the for-of, var s of r. So this will iterate over all the elements in the array. So this is just a sample where you can use a label, but in this case you are going to see that the label is not really necessary. I'm just showing you how you can use it. So if I do an if, and let's say maybe if the value of s becomes greater than L divided by 2. So basically if it gets to half of the length of the array. So here we've said that L is equals to array.length. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So since they're 8, let me make this 80. Since they're 8, this will stop if this becomes 4. So if I do this, if s becomes greater than 4, then break my array. But then again, let's give it something to do. So it will alert s. So this will give us the element. So as long as the value of s is less than half the length of the array, then we're going to get an alert. As soon as it gets greater than half, then we're going to break outside of this array. So this is essentially how this is used, and I just want to show you that. But it's also important for you to note that this is actually not necessary in this case. Okay, since this is an array, it's not really necessary for me to add the label in this case, but I just want to show you how to use it, so that in the next examples, when we get to a point where we are using the label in a place where it is usable, then you will understand it better. This is how it's used. So let's run this and see what happens if I run it. Okay, so this is not going to run, and I know you can see why. Because the value of s, we're using for-of, and for-of gives us the elements, but what I want is the indexes. So we're going to use for-in, and since we are now using for-in, we have to use the array to get the elements in the array. So we are going to use r and their index at s. So I hope you're understanding this. The reason for of is not working is because the first element is 10, and 10 is already greater than half of the number of elements in the array, which are 8. So 8 divided by 2, that's 4. So if we are using for-of gives us the elements, but for-in will give us the indexes. So that's what I am supposed to do. That's what I wanted to do actually, not use for-of. So if I run this, it will bring the first element, the second element, the third element, the fourth, and then it will break out. So it breaks out at 50. And if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it breaks out at 50 because it starts, the index here starts from 0. So I hope you're understanding this. I just wanted to show you how you can use a break with the label. So this is also the same way you'd use continue. So the difference between a continue and a break is that a break will break out of this loop. It will go out of it and run whatever is down here that will get run when you break outside of a loop. But if you're using continue, if I use continue, when the condition here is met, continue is going to go back to the top and see and try to run it. In this case, this is not a good example because at this point, it's just not going to be able to run, because when it's at 4, s is greater than 4, even if it goes up, this condition will still be true. So the difference between continue and break is that break will break out of it, but continue will take you back to the top of this loop. So it will just essentially restart this loop. So I can do a quick example by saying that if s modulus of 2 is equal to 0. So basically what this means, s modulus of 2 is equals to 0 becomes true. So let's say s is 1. If s is 1, 1 divided by 2 will give us a remainder of 1. So what this modulo does, modulo is basically a remainder. So if we divide 3 divided by 2, 3 modulus of 2 will be 1. 101 modulo of 2 will be 1. So this usually gives us the remainder. So in this case, we are saying that if s modulus of 2 is equals to 0, essentially what this means is that if this is an even number, then continue. So what continue will do, it will not print elements at even numbers. So it will not print the element at 0, it will not print the element at 0, 1. It will not print the element at 2, it will not print the element at 4, it will not print the element at 6, it will only print the elements in the odd locations, whereby we'll have 1, and then we'll have 3, then we'll have 5, and then 7. So that's what's going to happen. It's going to print the elements which are in the odd locations. So if we run this, it's going to give us 20, 40, 60, and 80. If I run, let me click outside here, then I run. So it's giving us 20, 40, 60, 80, and then it breaks out. So that's the difference between a continue and a break. So if I was to use a break here, you're going to notice that with a break, as soon as it hits this example, this is not even going to run, because the first element is going to be true for this condition. So if I run this, nothing is going to happen. If I run this, nothing is going to happen. So it's completely going to break out. But if I come out here and I maybe alert and say that we are out. We are out of the loop, essentially. So if I run this, you'll see that this within the loop is not going to run, but what it's outside will run. So if I run this, it will bring we are out. So basically, what this means is when you're doing a continue is going to take you back to the top of the loop until the condition becomes false, and then we go outside of the loop. But with a break, you're going to break outside of this loop immediately. So if I take this back to continue, it's going to run for us this, and then we're out. So if I run this, it's going to do 20, 60, 80, then now it's outside of the loop after everything else has become false. So in this video, I've been able to show you three things actually. First of all is how you can use a label, and then second of all, we have seen the difference between continue and break. So we say that a break will break outside of this loop immediately and take you outside of the loop, but a continue is going to take you to the top, and if the condition is still true, this will run until the condition becomes false, then we go outside of the loop. So we are going to continue in the next video, and I will see you then. So let me just copy this and put it in the snippets, so that once you do an example and try, if you experience any errors, you can go and see where you went wrong in your code. So I'll see you in the next video.